first introduced my niece to Robert, it was at 12 years old. I asked my sister and my brother-in-law to bring her down to the studio. She was a rapper. She was a dope rapper, too. That's when Bow Wow was back then. She was that status.
So what's the deal with this world that we live in? Everybody's taking out of that community giving. Life in the city is hard, I know your problems. The man don't care, he ain't even try to solve. What you gonna do? Stick your head in a hole? Are you giving up or are you gonna take control? When you take control, you can be what you wanna be. Next to diggity dollar, education is the game.
I wanted him to do what he was doing for me, for her. Wanting to be bigger than life, if you will, because she was that. She was totally that. And he saw it too.
Now, Sparkle, I can't agree with you there. You might have seen the musical drive in your niece, and you might have wanted her to go to greater heights, but I just don't think that R. Kelly was the person to take her there just because of who he is and what he likes. I feel like that he just seen someone that he could manipulate and control.
Actually, my niece would come down to the studio with me because she wanted to see the ins and outs of how I was working and just be around the vibe.
I can kind of understand that. You know, she young. She probably ain't never been in a studio. She want to see how it works.
She would sit on the couch. I would go in the booth and do my thing, and I wouldn't take my eyes off her.
And you better not take your eyes off of her. You just now introducing your niece to him. So why do you already feel like you have to keep your eyes on her the whole time? I feel like, y'all, that Sparkle might have already known or heard rumors or had an idea of what type of person he was, because otherwise she wouldn't feel like she needed to keep her eyes on her niece while recording in the studio.
I was 17 years old when I met Rob.
Y'all, I have been waiting to do this video about Lisa Van Allen.
It was for Home Alone with him and Keith Murray.
Get 'em up, y'all. Drinks everywhere.
Lisa met R. Kelly. I'm gonna give y'all the whole timeline, okay? Because we're gonna figure this out together.
And he had his cousin come over to me and say, Rob wants to talk to you. He asked me how old I was, and I told him I was 17. Will your mother let you come to Chicago?
This is where it rang a bell for me. So you tell him you 17 and he asks you, is your mama gonna let you come to Chicago? What type of question is that? Like, why do you want me to come to Chicago when we here where we at? Like,
When I said 17, that
you thought that since you was 17, he wasn't gonna talk to you. That's what all the girls think. At least you ain't lie about it like Jer Honda did.
Young girls are impressionable. Like, he's R.Kelly. Now, look who I got. Look who's showing me interest. He's charismatic, funny, but Robert is a master manipulator. Like, everybody knows it now. They didn't know it back then.
Yes, they didn't know it back then because the internet wasn't popping. The internet popping now. We can go to Google and find any motherfucking thing.
yeah, I didn't assume that he liked younger girls. At that moment, I just thought he liked me.
That's how R. Kelly be getting them. He be making them feel special, like it's just them, and he's never tried to do this with any other young girl. And he make them drop them draws every time.
Him suggesting sexual acts, oral, and I felt like I shouldn't have done that so fast. Didn't want to tell him no.
He's R. Kelly.
That's what Sparkle said. These young girls is impressionable. And you just met this, okay? He got you already on his tour bus. And he is telling you to remove your clothes. And you saying that you wish you wouldn't move so fast. Any other person gonna tell them, I'm not finna have you on the first night. I just met you. What type of girl do you think I am?
Young girls are impressionable. Like, he's R. Kelly. Now, look who I got. Look who's showing me interest.
I guess because I was young, I want to tell him no. I thought he might be upset. Like me, because I chose not to do it. On the bus, in his t-shirt, in between scenes, he would come back and forth on the bus.
Like, I really want to know what she was thinking. Like, when he would leave and she on the tour bus by herself in his t-shirt and he out doing what he doing, you know, like, what's going through her mind while she's on this tour bus? Like, oh my God, like, I'm on his tour bus. Like, I have his clothes on. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Did it make you wetter or something? Like, was you more excited? Like, did you really sit on the tour bus the whole video shoot and allow for him to come in between scenes?
We exchanged phone numbers.
You giving up coochie for free? Where the money?
I actually waited about a month before I called him. When can you get to Chicago? I told my mother the truth about where I wanted to go and who I was going to see. She knew she really couldn't keep me from going. Made my mind up that I was going.
She said that she told her mama the truth. I'm going to go see R.Kelly in Chicago. And you could already tell from the way she said it, her mama didn't like that idea. But she's 17, and in some states, 17 is the legal age of consent. Therefore, you're an adult. And so my whole point in this video is that Lisa Van Allen is just as guilty as R. Kelly, and she deserves just as much jail time as he do. Like, you grown enough to tell your mama where you going and who you going to go see, but you not grown enough to take that jail time?
The first visit, me going back home. The second visit, I just would stay. In the beginning, sex happened at the studio a lot. In the studio, he had bedroom. Pretty exciting.
Tell me, Lisa. Tell me, Lisa. What is exciting about being in a studio full of beds? Tell me. I want to know.
There's a bedroom in the middle, Studio A, the big one. I thought that was quite strange.
Craig, I'm with you. I am with you, Craig. I think it sounds quite strange to me, too.
In the studio, it was kind of boring for the most part.
No, it's exciting, remember? It's exciting, remember? Now you're talking about it, it's boring.
Where when she would get through and she'd be upset and saying she couldn't contact me.
And how does that make you feel? Like, that he cock-blocking you talking to your mama? Like, if I was your mama girl and I'm trying to call you because you were a superstar and I can't never get in touch with you, I'd be mad as hell too. Hell, what did you do about it is the question.
One time, one of his friends came to the studio and he's speaking to everyone, and just a normal reaction, you speak back. Say you're not supposed to speak to them. You don't speak to anybody. You just look straight forward. If they speak to you, you don't say anything.
Well, he made your Honda turn around and face the wall. So at least he told you all you had to do was look forward. Don't make eye contact. But this is the point I wanted to make. Pimps do the same thing to their girls. Pimp tactics, y'all.
Pretty early on, he kind of introduced you to everything that he was into. The first time Robert had me with him and another female, he actually told me it was going to be his first time and he wanted to do it with me.
The fact that you fell for that, girls don't just go around wanting to have threesomes. I don't give a damn if it's his first time. You are a superstar. You're like 35. You didn't have millions of dollars, and you mean to tell me you ain't never slept with the same time? Stop playing with my emotions.
He would say things like, well, you know, if you love me, you won't try to change me. You know, if you love me, you'll accept me how I am. You know, if you love me, you'll do these things for me. So those would be the little pep talks he would give me.
MANIPULATION. Manipulation.
He would never ask me if it was okay to be filmed, but he never hit the camera.
I keep hearing all these girls say that he was recording them. He never asked me to record me, but he would just have the camera out. Okay, well, that's your chance, baby, for you to tell him you don't want to be recorded. Hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Hey, I don't want you to record me. Hey, please don't do that. Something. You didn't say nothing, not a peep. Okay, so he finna record you because he thinks it's okay. Duh.
Once we did the threesome, it became more frequent. Then he started introducing me to other young women.
He broke you in.
We had went to an awards show. It had me buy this pretty gown. It made me feel special. When we got back to the house, this young girl was there.
There were a couple times that I came into the studio that my niece would be in the studio room. And I would walk in like, What you doing here?
Oh my God, y'all. I'm so glad to finally be getting this video out of my brain because it has been riding my nerves. Sparkle went to the studio when Lisa and R.Kelly was at the award show, right? Okay, y'all get me? Y'all with me? So when she went to the studio and she seen her niece there, she was like, what are you doing here? The niece was like, oh, I got dropped off. Y'all, listen.
Who's here with you? And she's like, oh, I got dropped off. Robert's having a Christmas party or some type of party. We're all gonna stay, at his house and, have games. So then I was just like, okay.
It don't sound right. Something don't sound right. R. Kelly finna have a house full of little girls with no parental supervision, and they all at his house having fun and games for Christmas. Please.
I was pissed when I saw her in the studio by herself. My parents were strict. We couldn't stay over or be around nobody if they had boys.
And that's how it's supposed to be. Little girls are not supposed to be around little boys because we all know what happens. Y'all get curious and wants to get to touching on one another and all of that. No, we don't play them games. We can't go over your house if you got boys.
You just with Robert being supervised? I thought I left my niece in good hands. Think of a grown man hanging out with young girls. Something ain't right.
Oh, you're just with Robert by yourself being supervised?
He called her down. He told me that she was 16. The way he had put it was kind of like he was trying something different, with including her. We all went into the gym and
Lisa is telling y'all how R. Kelly called her from upstairs to come downstairs. So pay attention.
He called her down. He told me that she was 16. The way he had put it was kind of like he was trying something different, with including her. And he pulled a futon mattress out of one of the rooms. He pulled out his camera and his tripod. And I started crying. I didn't want to do it. He got upset. What am I going to do with this? He's like, I can't watch this thing. He didn't care that I was crying. He was upset because watch it because I was crying.
And that right there should have let you know what type of person he was. But he didn't even care about you crying. He couldn't even console you because you were uncomfortable and you were crying. Your feelings was hurt. Instead, because he ain't going to be able to reminisce on this moment because you crying.
Coaching us through the whole thing. He's telling me, Lily, lay down. He's having us perform oral on each other. She seemed to be know how things went without him really telling her much of anything.
Because he already been ucking her. He already been getting busy with her.
He was more instructing me. I kind of felt like they'd been there before doing everything's done, gets up and goes into the bathroom. That wasn't the only place that we had with the young girl in one of his trailers for one of his video shoots in the Colorado room, which is the wood room in the basement. He did tape us.
So I want y'all to remember where she says that they had some Colorado room. It was her, R. Kelly, and the young girl, and he recorded them there as well. Remember that part. It
wasn't just me that was young that he liked. It wasn't a mistake with Aaliyah. You know what? This man really has a problem.
Now that you know that he really got a problem, what are you going to do about it? What is your next move?
We'd be in the studio, and he'd have her parents in the studio, and he would actually pretend as if he cared that she was young. He would put up this front for her parents. He knows that he's sleeping with this young girl.
I feel like she really got on Lifetime and she's just trying to justify the fact that this young R. Kelly is still messing with this young girl. But if her parents is in the studio and you sit in the studio with him and he is telling her parents, hey, everything good, she happy, this is the music we worked on, or whatever lies he telling them, that was your chance right there to blurt out he's having sex with y'all daughter. Say something. Why you ain't say nothing?
Him and I both were actually having sex with her.
My question is, why is it okay for you to get on Lifetime? And throughout this whole documentary, y'all, she just kept saying, yeah, I did this with her too. Yeah, it was me doing this with her too. Okay, well, just as guilty as he is, because you was 17 or 18 around this point. So you're no longer being brainwashed. You're no longer being manipulated. You're a grown woman making grown woman decisions.
I didn't know at the time that she was actually 14. Lying to her parents to get them to trust him with their child. 2 years later, and he actually had other females that he was cool with or have a sexual relationship with. The only time he would want you to communicate with them would be during the sexual act. Other than that, you don't speak to each other.
He don't want y'all talking to each other because y'all bound to say some stuff and catch him in his lie, and he ain't gonna know how to fix it. So, you know what? Just don't talk to nobody. Stay to yourself. Don't ask no questions.
I sparked up a conversation, even though I wasn't supposed to. Something about getting a car. And I asked her, she said when she turns 16, she's gonna get a car. And I asked her, aren't you already 16? No, I'm 15. I'm about to be 16. It made me feel like sick to my stomach.
Nah, what should have made you feel disgusted and sick to your stomach was the fact that you was willing to sleep with R.Kelly on the first night that you met him. You don't know what he got. You don't know if he got AIDS. You don't know if he got herpes. You ain't asked for no documentation from the doctor or nothing. You just sucking, dropping draws.
Because all of the sexual encounters were before I found out she was 14.
Does that make it okay, Lisa? Does that make it okay? That does not make it okay.
It still haunts me. It shouldn't have happened. I should have never introduced her to him. How dare you?
Put you on that one, Sparkle. Like, damn, bro. Like, how could you do that for real? Like, that's the most disrespectful thing anybody could ever fucking do to you.
I came across the one with me, him, and the 14-year-old.
My niece has the same hairstyle she had when she turned 14. That was her, for sure. And that was him, definitely.
For him to do that to her, man.
I took it, and he never noticed it was gone.
So Lisa is saying that R.Kelly basically left her in a room with a duffel bag full of videotapes that he has kept around after having these experiences with these young girls, okay? So he left the bag in the room with Lisa, and her knows going through the bag, start popping tapes in, trying to see what's on it. Okay, so now that she's going through his bag, she's found that videotape from when he recorded her in the Colorado room. So she took that tape.
I just didn't know that there was a point where they were talking about killing me. When I figured out that I had had sex with a 14-year-old, it made me feel betrayed because he lied to me and told me she was 16, which would have been close to my age.
So you're saying it's not okay because she was 14, but at the time he told you to have the threesome with the girl, and you did it, and now you find out her real age, you feel disgusted, and you thought that you would have felt better if she really would have been 16, because at least that would have made it okay? Nope, I'm not buying it.
And it also made me question his motives. I mean, the fact that he lied about her age to me told me that he obviously knew that wasn't okay.
You knew it wasn't okay, and he knew it wasn't okay, but y'all still did it, okay? You still did it. You had a chance to pull out, and you didn't. You went forward with it, so you just as guilty, man. Like,
We didn't with her anymore after I found out that she was that much younger.
Stop lying to me. Stop lying to the world. Because, you know, by this time, everybody already know you doing whatever R. Kelly wants you to do. My nigga, you still gonna do what Robert wants you to do. So why are you sitting on here lying to us, talking about you never have again? Yes, you did. You did it a whole bunch more times, and you did it as many times as he wanted you to do it.
We had sex in his home twice. He did tell me that his wife was upstairs. Me, him, and the younger woman when we were in the Colorado room where the infamous sex tape was filmed.
She want to point out that the infamous sex tape was filmed in the Colorado room, but what she forgetting to say is that that's where he filmed me and the young girl in the Colorado room. That's where it happened with the P tape. That's where everything happened. She was included on that video, is what the world is forgetting to include.
Have you hit